There's power in the factory, power in the land, power in the hand of the worker. But it all amounts to nothing if together we don't stand. There is power in our union. Now the lessons of the past were all learned with workers' blood and strikes on.
Hello, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Manns, and I'd like to welcome you to the April 4th Coalition Show. This is the October 30th, 2023 edition of the show. It is the 477th show that we have done since the closing of the North Adams Regional Hospital, and it is the 17th one that we have done since the announcement of its possible reopening. The April 4th Coalition's mission statement is, we are for workers' rights and collective bargaining rights, and are against tax breaks for the rich or corporations who ship our jobs overseas. We support all the articles of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, but as is our custom, we put the emphasis on Article 23. Dick, are you leading us off?
Yes. Article 23, Section 1, everyone has the right to work, to free choice of employment, to just and favorable conditions of work, and protection against unemployment. Number 2, everyone, without any discrimination, has the right to equal pay for equal work.
Number 3, everyone who works has the right to just and favorable remuneration, compensation, pay, whatever word you want to use there, ensuring for himself or herself and his or her family an existence worthy of human dignity and supplemented, if necessary, by other means of social protection. Michael.
Oh my goodness, was mapping. Everyone has the right to form and join trade unions for protection of his or her interests.
And as is our custom, we give a thank you and a shout out to Michael Putnam, the program director for WMNBLP 107.1. That is the community radio station for airing the audio portions of our shows on Fridays at 6 p.m. And to the wonderful staff here at Northern Berkshire Community Television Corporation, David Fabiano, Joanne Hurlbut, and Nicole A. Brown for helping us produce the show. Without them, we would not be here as talking heads.
Right.
And Dick, I know you wanted to start with a video, or would you rather start with Halloween?
Why don't we start with the video?
Good.
Okay.
The video is, the House of Representatives has been floundering for quite a while.
Yes.
The Republican Party has not been able to, the representatives of the Republican have not been able to elect a leader for the House of
Right, it
Representatives.
took them about 2.5 weeks.
Yes, the Democrats have been unanimous in selecting Hakeem Jeffries from New York as their leader. And after several tries, and some threats to some of the people not voting for their certain candidates, the Republicans finally agreed upon a speaker. Mm-hmm. But as is the case when a new speaker is picked, the minority party, or the Democrats in this case, they have, I think, a 5-person minority. They're 5 purple.
Well, the Republicans have like a 5-person majority.
Majority, yeah. So anyways, Hakeem Jeffries addressed the entire body, and I'd like to play his speech to see where he stands in his leadership.
Speaker Mike Johnson, Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi, Whip Clark, Chairman Aguilar, all of my colleagues in government on both sides of the aisle. It's an honor and a privilege to once again stand before you as House Democratic leader. From the very beginning of this Congress, House Democrats have made clear that we will find bipartisan common ground with our Republican colleagues whenever and wherever possible, for the good of the American people. And House Democrats have repeatedly done just that. It was House Democrats who provided a majority of the votes necessary to avoid a catastrophic default on our debt that would have crashed the U.S. economy and triggered a job-killing recession. It was House Democrats who provided a majority of the votes necessary to avoid a government shutdown that would have hurt everyday American. It was House Democrats who provided a majority of the votes necessary to secure $16 billion in disaster assistance for Americans whose lives have been devastated by extreme weather events. From the very beginning of this Congress, House Democrats have been governing for the people. We continue to look forward to finding bipartisan common ground whenever and wherever possible. House Democrats will continue to partner with President Biden and Senate Democrats to put people over politics. House Democrats will continue to fight for lower costs, better paying jobs, safer communities, and to build an economy from the middle out and the bottom up and not the top down. House Democrats will continue to push back against extremism in this chamber and throughout the country. House Democrats will continue to protect Social Security, protect Medicare, protect Medicaid, protect our children, protect our climate, protect low-income families, protect working families, protect the middle class, protect organized labor, protect the LGBTQ community, protect our veterans, protect older Americans, protect the Affordable Care Act, protect the right to vote, protect the peaceful transfer of power, protect our democracy, and protect a woman's freedom to make her own reproductive health care decisions. These are blue lines in the sand, and we will work hard to make sure that they are never crossed. We must also continue to stand by President Biden as he works to bring American hostages and Israeli hostages held by Hamas back home. American hostages and Israeli hostages and international hostages back home. We must also stand by our friends on the international stage. And we have no better friend in the Middle East than the State of Israel. Israel has a right to exist as a Jewish and democratic state. The special relationship between the United States and Israel is unbreakable. Our commitment to Israel's security is ironclad, and Israel has a right to defend itself under the international rules of war against the brutal terror unleashed on its citizens by Hamas. Our ironclad commitment to Israel's security and the effort to defeat Hamas is not inconsistent with the goal of achieving a lasting and just peace between Israel and the Palestinian people. In many ways, it is a necessary ingredient because Hamas is not good for Israel. Hamas is not good for America. Hamas is not good for the free world. Hamas is not good for the democratic aspirations of the Palestinian people. We must also support Ukraine in its courageous effort to defeat Russian aggression. There are only two paths in front of us. We can either stand up for Ukraine or bow down to Vladimir Putin. That is not a difficult choice. We must stand up For America's national security, we must stand up for democracy. We must stand up for freedom. We must stand up for truth. We must stand up for the Ukrainian people until victory is won. It is my expectation that in the next week or so, the Senate will send over for consideration a bipartisan national security funding package for Israel, Ukraine, and our other allies throughout the free world. That also includes humanitarian assistance for Palestinian civilians and others who may be in harm's way. The House of Representatives should take up this national security package and humanitarian relief package immediately, in totality, and without delay. The time for gamesmanship is over. The time for brinksmanship is over. The time for partisanship is over. It's time to get back to doing the business of the American people. Let me conclude. Let me conclude with an observation about the state of our democracy. Joe Biden won the 2020 presidential election. He's doing a great job under difficult circumstances, and no amount of election denialism will ever change that reality. Not now, not ever. Throughout the years, presidents from Ronald Reagan to Barack Obama, Dwight Eisenhower to Lyndon Baines Johnson have spoken to this chamber and urged us to put aside partisan politics for the good of the American people. President Lincoln spoke to this Congress on December 1st, 1862, in the middle of the Civil War, and noted that we in this institution had the power and bore the responsibility to save the Union. The stakes were high. As articulated by President Lincoln, we could either nobly save or meanly lose America as we know it, the last best hope on earth. This is a turbulent time in the American journey, and we have but one charge to keep during this moment of great fragility. Our union must be sustained. Our union must be strengthened. Our union must succeed. There are many throughout this country who are understandably alarmed at the turbulence of the moment, at the chaos, the dysfunction, and the extremism that has been unleashed in this chamber from the very beginning of this Congress. But this too shall pass. Our country has often confronted adversity, and the good news is we always find a way to make it to the other side. We faced adversity in the 1860s, in the middle of the Civil War, when the country was literally tearing itself apart. We faced adversity in October of 1929, when the stock market collapsed, plunging us into a Great Depression. We faced adversity in December of 1941, when a foreign power unexpectedly struck, plunging us into a world war with the evil empire of Nazi Germany. We faced adversity in the Deep South in the 1950s and 60s, when the country was struggling to reconcile the inherent contradictions between Jim Crow segregation and the glorious promises of the Constitution. We faced adversity on September 11th, 2001, when the towers and the Pentagon were unexpectedly struck, killing thousands of lives in an instant. We faced adversity right here in the House of Representatives when on January 6, 2021, a violent mob of insurrectionists, incited by some in this chamber, overran the House floor as part of an effort to halt the peaceful transfer of power. Every time we faced adversity, the good news here in America is that we always overcome. That is the power of American exceptionalism. That is why America is the land of the free and the home of the brave. That is why I remain optimistic about the future of this country. That is why America is the last best hope on earth. God bless you. God bless the House of Representatives. God bless the United States of America.
What did you think of that?
Good.
That was wonderful.
Oh, he's solid. He's solid. He's going to make a great Speaker of the House, should the Democrats reclaim the majority when the time comes, should they do that. But I also think he launched a war at the same time with that speech towards the end. He didn't let up on Mike Johnson and his beliefs, and I think that was more a warning to him not to go there,
Right.
from what I can see, because everybody needs to know that Mike Johnson's from Louisiana, who is the new Speaker of the House.
And he's an election denialist. He was one of the leaders of the opposition to
Yeah.
the peaceful transfer of power. He signed on to a amicus brief going to the Supreme Court from Texas, trying to eliminate votes in battleground states. He was the leader to get other Republicans to sign on to this. So, it's a very difficult time, as he said, but we have to have a functioning government. We can agree to disagree, but, we can't have people that just want government not to work at all. Because we have some very vested interests right here. It's not about good for Democrats or good for Republicans. It's good for the people. Like, right now we have, it was an article last Thursday where our Representative Richie Neal in Congress gave testimony about the fact that we need this hospital reopened. And this is a quote that he stated, and he was, with a functioning House of Representatives, we'll get the money for this hospital to be opened. It says the potential reopening of North Adams Regional Hospital is a pivotal step to ensure equitable access throughout the Commonwealth, addressing health disparities in the more rural regions of Western Massachusetts, Neal said. Federal support plays a crucial role in the strength and vitality of our local institutions. With Medicare's critical access hospital designations, North Adams Regional Hospital will be able to reopen with additional funding so it can resume serving its community. So there is a point that we need a House of Representatives that works together for the good of the people, not arguing about whether certain cult leaders in the Republican Party should be followed. It's about serving the people, the policies that serve the people, not about individuals and their likes and dislikes.
And I think people have to understand this, we're not the only other possible hospital seeking critical access designation that's being held up because of the chaos going on at the federal level in the House of Representatives. It is personally affecting us here because when this was all announced, they had hoped to be refurbishing the hospital.
I think they already are, in hopes that it will reopen. I just want to demonstrate that, Congress works for everybody. It's not just about Republicans, Democrats. What he was saying, we have to work for everyone.
Because this is one of those issues that goes across the board. Your health, it doesn't. Disease and other things do not care if you are a Democrat or a Republican.
And one thing he talked about is our commitment to Israel. And I've made 3 phone calls, each to my United States Senator Warren, United States Senator Markey, and to Congressman Neal's office, saying that I support Israel's right to exist and right to defend itself, but I don't believe in collective punishment. And I'm asking for them to please get a ceasefire Please stop bombing. I don't believe in collective punishment. Hamas is in the Gaza Strip, but there are a lot of innocent children, women, and men who don't belong to that political movement, but live there and have no choice but to live there. So we
Because
need.
Israel won't let them live anywhere else. And
Right.
won't let them leave.
Right, and there's no military solution to this problem. It has to be a diplomatic, humanitarian, and a political solution. So I just urge that. But again,
A definite ceasefire.
Oh, definitely, because violent war, this invasion, the bombings, it's all creating another generation
right, the
that-
hate.
of hate that's going, do you have to?
Yeah,
It's-
Gandhi said it, an eye for an eye and the whole world ends up blind. It's just, it was horrible what the Hamas did when they invaded on October 7th, what they did to the Israelis. But that doesn't mean carpet bombing entire civilian populations. That's not the solution. One a violation of human rights does not provide you with the opportunity to do the same. It doesn't say, okay, since they violated your human rights, you can violate everybody else's human rights. You have to defend yourself, yes, but we need to have a ceasefire in that region. And then 5 o'clock today at the college, they're having a discussion on this.
They
So I'm
are,
gonna try-
yes, they
I'm
are.
going to try to go to that. But anyways, we had a trick or treat list here. Did you want to look at this, or I don't know if you had time to do
Right,
it.
well, Dick and I are both former union members, and so we always, when we get a chance on a holiday, point out when something can be done that involves the union. And there are these treats that they say we should use,
Yeah.
correct?
Dubai, yeah, they're Dubai.
The do buy list,
Yeah.
and we don't have a list of the don't buy, but we
Yeah.
do have a do buy, which is, and these are the companies: American Licorice, Annabelle Candy Company, Bachman Company, See's Candies, Brown and Haley, Ghirardelli Chocolate, Boyer Brothers, Hershey Company, so that includes the Kisses, the milk chocolate bar, the chocolate and almonds, the dark bars, the nuggets, the Rolos, the Kit Kat bars, Carmelo bars. So there's plenty of chocolate out there that you can get. Jolly Ranchers, Jelly Belly Candy, Just Born Incorporated, which does Mike and Ike peanut chews and hot tamales, and Ferraro Group, which includes Nestle, Farley, and Sathers, which is Laffy Taffy, Baby Ruth Butterfingers, Russell Stover Candies, Tootsie Roll Industries, and Oakley Confections. All those we encourage you to buy and support,
Yeah,
and avoid the other ones that do not. And there's plenty there they all come with the multi-packs so that you can give out candy to the youngsters and still support union jobs.
yeah. So, and then this week, we're going to record another show that's going to be shown next Monday. But we're going to have a representative of the Visiting Nurse Association, the Massachusetts Nurse Association Visiting Nurses Union with us. So we wanted to show a video about visiting nurses, just to get our awareness about what a visiting nurse does and the importance of visiting nurses in Western Mass. But this is a Canadian video, but it talks about visiting nurses.
When I go inside a patient's home during this COVID pandemic, sometimes there's fear. And how am I going to calm someone's fear? Sometimes that makes me scared as well.
Barb Garretts is a home care nurse,
Hey.
and every day she visits around 10 patients. Today she's come to see Patricia Howard.
Hey, Barb, how you going? Good. How are you? Good. Come on in.
Barb has been taking care of Patricia for 4 years.
All right, let's check your blood pressure.
And even though we're in the midst of a pandemic, she still comes twice a week.
I'll get there. There we go.
In fact, because of COVID, Barb says home care is more important than ever.
Patricia needs to be protected, and home is the best place for her. Every time she goes out into the community for an appointment at a cancer center or out for blood work, she's putting herself at risk. You got 122 over 74.
Still a lie.
And so to be able to provide nursing care for her here, to keep her at home for pretty much everything that she needs is really important. It's her life. Appetite's been okay?
Yeah.
Good. And did you sleep last night?
Yeah. Last night was good. I rely on Barb to keep me home.
And how's the pain control been?
Fantastic.
Good.
To keep me safe. She's my shield against many things out there, not just COVID.
Let me have a look at your lighting.
Patricia's 49 years old, 2 kids, and she has cancer. So there are a lot of complications that Barb handles on her visits.
It's there,
Yeah.
so we don't want it to go too far.
Today it looks like Patricia might have an infection in her leg.
Let me see if I can get Dr. Smith on the phone.
Oh, okay.
Rather than leave the house and risk exposure to COVID, they deal with it on the phone.
Oh, hi, Dr. Smith. It's Barb calling from St. Elizabeth Healthcare. Just regarding Pat Howard again, her right leg does have a little bit of redness to it, so I'm just wondering if we can get her on some antibiotics and get that taken care of.
Barb has been nursing people in their homes for 20 years.
Bye-bye. We need to have a light shone on us as well.
And she says even now, during the pandemic, home care nurses aren't appreciated.
We seem to always be the last one to receive anything, be it compensation, be it attention, because people don't know we're here. I think we are the forgotten front line. We're going every day into patients' homes. Patients wouldn't be able to come home from hospital if we weren't here. Patients wouldn't be able to die at home if we weren't here. Just take some nice deep breaths for me.
Barb is one of almost 10,000 home care nurses working in people's homes across the country every day. But here's the thing. They're paid $11 less on average than their hospital colleagues, even though the stakes here are as high as anywhere.
If I were to get COVID, I have 4-stage cancer and it's already in my lungs. So it worries me. I don't want to be alone when I die. I want to be surrounded by family. I want to die on my terms.
All right, Pat. Well, today's Monday, means I'll be back to see you on Friday.
Good.
All right?
Yep. Have a good week, Barb.
Thanks.
Take care.
When I went into community nursing, I realized it was what I was meant to do. It was supporting people, it was teaching people to help them through the worst time of their lives. It's to make it easier for them. Give them a shoulder to lean on when they need it.
When the pandemic started, we focused on hospitals as our response to the virus. But as Barb's visit shows, home care is also an essential tool in the fight against COVID. Nick Purdon, CBC News, Grimsby, Ontario.
It's something needed here in
Oh, it is?
Berkshire County.
I remember when I fell down a whole flight of stairs, had septicemia and broke my thumb, and the visiting nurses came out. I don't know what I'd do without them. They were wonderful. And I just wanted to say that.
They provide the necessary service in the community, along with home health aides who come and do errands and take care of houses for people who are homebound.
They are the essential service, and they should be paid and compensated for that.
Yes, they should.
And
And we have about 11 seconds left, so Mike, you want your catchphrase? You want to do your catchphrase?
What?
Power to the
Oh,
people,
power to the people, yes.
because we always need
But
that.
seriously, if you're power to the people, remember one thing. If you're in a union, you're on strike, the longer the picket line, the shorter the strike.
Yep.
Yeah, remember that. We can do it if we all stick together. Same as a lot of things can be done here if you get the right people in office. You give them the opportunity, what you want, it's a group of people. Then you can turn around. If they don't want to do it, I guess they want to be unemployed. The people should dictate.
yeah.
Yep. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Mike.
There's power in the factory, power in the land, power in the hand of the worker. But it all amounts to nothing if together we don't stand. There is power in our union. Now the lessons of the past were all learned with workers' blood. The strikes of the bosses we must fight for. From the cities and the farmlands to trenches command, wars who always been the bosses.